All right, so picture this. We're high up in the Rishimuka Mountains. There's a king here, Sugriva, hiding out in a cave. His eyes are just filled with this deep fear and sadness. And he's about to tell his story to two visitors, Rama and Lakshmana.
And it all kicks off with this one simple question from Rama. That's all it takes. This question is basically the key that unlocks this absolutely heartbreaking story of two brothers, a terrible misunderstanding, and a tragedy that has completely defined Sugriva's life.
So before we can really understand what's about to happen, we have to rewind a little. Sugriva, you see, he's a king, but he's living like a fugitive, in constant fear, exiled from his own kingdom. And as he starts to talk, we realize his entire story, all of his pain, is tied to just one person, his older brother Vali.
Now, to really get this, you have to understand who Vali was. I mean, he wasn't just some king. He was the powerhouse ruler of the Vanara kingdom, Kishkinda. People said he was unmatched in strength and courage. He was this larger-than-life warrior, an absolute legend, which honestly just makes what happens next even more shocking.
So how did it all go so wrong between these two brothers? Well, it wasn't just one thing. The whole tragedy was really set in motion by two different run-ins with demons, and each one kind of nudged them down this darker and darker path.
Okay, so the first challenge comes from a demon named Dundubi. Vali, being the powerhouse he is, defeats him and hits him so hard that the demon's body literally flies for miles and lands right in the sage's home. The sage, Matanga, is furious and lays down this major curse. Vali can never, ever step foot on the Rishimuka Mountains again. Now remember that detail. It's super important because it explains why this exact spot is the only place Sugriva can safely hide from his brother.
But it's the second challenge that really changes everything. Another demon, Mayavi, shows up and challenges Vali. Vali, of course, gets enraged and chases him right into this deep, dark, ominous cave. And this chase into the darkness, this is the moment where their whole world is about to turn upside down.
Before he vanishes into that cave, Vali turns to his brother Sugriva and gives him this one fateful order. Just think about the weight of those words. It's not a suggestion, it's a command that's going to force Sugriva to make an impossible choice later on.
And this brings us to the real climax of the whole backstory. Sugriva, being a good brother, does exactly what he's told. He waits. But what he's about to see and hear will lead him to a conclusion that's going to completely shatter his life.
And Sugriva's loyalty was no joke. He didn't just wait for a couple of hours. Days went by. And then he hears it. These terrifying roars coming from deep inside the cave. Sounds of an epic battle. And then suddenly, just awful, total silence.
And then came the final horrifying clue. A stream of blood starts to trickle out from the mouth of the cave. For Sugriva, who's been anxiously waiting outside this whole time, this could only mean one thing.
So you put it all together, right? The insane battle sounds, the sudden silence, and now, blood. Sugriva comes to the only logical conclusion he possibly can. His beloved, invincible brother Vali has been killed by the demon. He is absolutely heartbroken.
So, thinking he's following his brother's last wish, Sugriva goes back to Kishkinda. The people believing their king is gone make him the new ruler, but then the unthinkable happens. Vali comes back, he's not dead, he's very much alive, and he is consumed by this furious, blinding rage.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the tragedy. It's a massive misunderstanding. From Sugriva's point of view, he was just mourning his brother and got pushed into a job he never asked for. But from Vali's point of view, he sees pure betrayal. He's convinced his brother left him to die on purpose just so he could steal his kingdom.
Vali's rage is just absolute. He brutally beats Sugriva, he banishes him from Kishkinda, their home, and then, in the cruelest move of all, he takes Sugriva's wife, Ruma, for himself. Sugriva is left with absolutely nothing, forced to live on the run, terrified for his life every single day.
So after pouring out this whole story of pain and injustice, Sugriva's tone starts to shift. He looks at Rama, another royal exile who has also lost his wife, and he sees more than just a friend. He sees a little glimmer of hope, maybe, just maybe, a chance for justice.
So he makes his pitch. He offers Rama a powerful deal. He says, "Help me defeat my brother, and I will put my entire kingdom, all of my resources, into finding your wife, Sita." Right there, their two separate quests become one.
And Rama's response is immediate and strong. He sees the terrible injustice that's been done, and he makes a solemn oath. He gives Sugriva his word. He will help him defeat Vali and win back everything he lost. The alliance is sealed.
And this leaves us with a pretty powerful question to chew on, doesn't it? We have this new alliance, forged in sorrow and a terrible misunderstanding. But as these two missions for justice now merge, you have to wonder, can a partnership that starts with so much tragedy really be the thing that sets everything right?